Everybody, it's Marty the JavaScript Party and my buddy Rhett back there. We just finished our 3JS unit testing video, and now we're on the voice analyzer. Yesterday we explored Japanese a little bit, which was a lot of fun, and so I started off today by asking Chat GPT what the locale code for Korean is, so that we could add Korean. I don't remember. Maybe we even added Korean yesterday. I do not remember. No. So I guess I put Japanese in the wrong place because EFGHIJK is supposed to be before Spanish. So let's go ahead and fix that. Like I mentioned, we could um, write some code to do that for us. And honestly, if I was working if this was a professional job, I probably would. It's EFGHIJ. It is kind of like there's almost always like it gets more complicated because then it's like, well, but we always want this one to be first, or we want, and it ends up being like you never know if it's going to be worth it. Okay. um, because they may end up wanting a custom um, sorting of some sort, and it's just so until it all plays itself out, um, and it's sort of the sorting of something like this has it's been this way for a year, and this is how we want it, and it's a real pain in the butt every time. And now we have 100 of them, but anyways, this whole thing we would actually need to be able to, if there was going to be more than 10 or 12, we would definitely need to be able to enter um, a sort. And Angular material does have that. It gets slightly more complicated. Um, if you don't know Angular material at all, it'll be a lot more um, complicated. But K comes after J. I think I have that in our nope. Let's see. Let's go back to our Chat GPT. This is what we want for Korean. And it told me how to say hello, but I can't read that because obviously it would tell you in Korean. Apparently this is how you say hello in Korean, but unfortunately. Now, it was like kind of telling me how I could get it to actually speak. I had no luck with this. This voice, the speech synthesis before, where I would tell it to say words and it just would not say them. It just was super, super unreliable. It might be better now, but I don't know. But KOKR. And I truly don't have the vaguest idea how to say this. So I enjoyed kind of taking a chance yesterday. Um, but Korean, and I guess it's Korea. And then we'll get rid of that. And we'll save this. And then we will. I can't even begin to get started. How do you say hello in Korean phonetically? I don't even know how you spell phonetically. Oh, yeah. Spelling is not easy. And everyone is An Yong Ha Se Yo. On An Young Ha Ha or Ha Se Yo. An Young Ha Se Yo. An Yang Ha Se Yo. And then I would have to recognize this. So let's try it. An yang ha seyo. Oh, I hate it when it does that. Just like sometimes it just doesn't respond. An yang ha seyo. So this is what I got back. Okay, that first letter looks right. I feel like that second letter looks right. I do really, really enjoy Korean art, movies. Oh yeah, that's right. So it thinks I might have said also. I don't see the difference. Oh, okay. So which one is this? I am not familiar with. So the one that's different between the. Oh, let me click that. Okay, so that's identical. It's this letter here, and so yeah. So it looks like I got it. Anyang haseyo. Um, so voice recognition recognized. Is my words. Hello in Korean, but it had this as an alternate. That would Anya. It's doing a great job. Just to clarify, in a polite way, used with elders. Anyang haseyo. Anyang haseyo. Well, this was the first entry or result. Oh, so the first one was wrong. Oh, so it thought I said a city in. Polite hello. So I could have sworn the very first thing. So the second thing was hello. But when I was looking at this, I thought, well, I can't really recognize the difference. I thought this was the difference. Oh, it's got the. Okay, so that has the little sort of ball at the top or the circle at the top, and this one does not. Oh, okay, so that was right. So I actually just totally misread that because I don't understand the letters. Like I'm not familiar with the letters, I guess. Okay, yeah. So the second one was right. This is a city. So but it did say, oh, maybe you were saying hello. Anyang, Anyang he haseyo. An, Anyang haseyo. Anyang haseyo. Okay, it still has the little ball. And I don't want the ball, I want this. Okay, so it did tell me why. So I think that I'm giving this thing. Oh, okay, misunderstandable one. Here's what happened. Yeah, so these two letters are the difference. On Anyang Oh, that's nice. Peace is a place name. Um, all right, so I wonder what I'm doing wrong though. On Young Han. I wonder if it's the young part. On Young Ha Se Yo. I need to. Oh, An Young Ha Se Ho. An Young Ha Se Ho. Say Yo. I said that wrong completely. An Young Ha Se Yo. And I'm supposed to say Yo, not. And it's just not even. An Young Ha Se Yo. Oh my gosh, that one's completely wrong. An. I think it's the an. What about? Okay, so this time I really got it wrong. Let's see if at least the second one was am young. Oh, so these are like English words. Okay, so I tried to improve, but this time it returned. Classic. It misheard. It did not miss. I misspoke. M1. M1 and An sound the same. Interesting. Um, okay. How to say hello in. That's crazy. Korean. Oh, why did I get. That's weird. I wonder. I wanted this the other day.
안녕하세요.
Oh my lord. Boy, they say that fast. Let's try this.
안녕하세요.
Perfect.
안녕하세요.
안녕하세요. Where is it? On. So it didn't. Oh, okay. So they say. So I guess the English name and to them in this context is on. I would say Anne. So I think that was one of the problems.
안녕하세요.
No?
안녕하세요.
안녕, 안녕하세요. 안녕마. So I don't remember. I didn't hear the young in there.
안녕하세요.
An, 안녕하세요. 안녕마. 안녕. 안녕. I don't hear the G, I don't think.
안녕하세요. 안녕하세요. 안녕하세요.
안녕하세요. 안녕하세요. Oh my gosh. That's so far off. Okay, what about this one? A polite negative command like don't do something. Oh my gosh. Anyway, so I definitely would have a lot of practicing to do in order to get Korean down. I think that has been the most challenging one for me so far. And I think it is important to know that kind of thing. And I think this does give a fair response. Now, I know that I initially had thought man, this would be a great technology for people like speech therapists so they can help. But the problem turned out to be that let me hit reload on this, and it's on English. Is that like I can say this, sing, and well, how about this, thing? Yeah, so I said thing with a th. I definitely put my tongue on my tooth, and it thought that I said sing. Um, so I think it's not quite tuned. It's tuned to understand what people are saying, not to judge what people are saying or if they're saying it right. It's really tuned to try to figure out what someone was attempting to say. So I don't think it would be a very good, like it would be a conversationally good, right? Like if somebody from another country was trying to, learn English and they went, "Oh, I need that sing. Can you bring that sing over to me?" Like, yeah, we'd get it. We know that they were not asking me to bring a song over to them. We would get it. So I think for conversational purposes, it's probably really good. So like if you could build like a nice little travel tool, that would help with language, and stuff like that. But on the other hand, like if you're like, no, I want to, like I'm going to school and the kids are teasing me about how I say thing because I always say sing. Yeah, this ain't gonna help you with that, unfortunately. Because even if you do say it right, it's still gonna say that it thinks you said thing, and I'm confident that I'm saying it right because there's a s versus a right. So thing. Yeah, see that one said Bing and sing and thing. It still gave. Well, it's kind of weird because it gave a higher percentage to thing, and I think these numbers, these confidence numbers, are very strange. Like they're not consistent. Like what that means and what you can derive from that information seems to be a moving target. And as you've seen, this English seems to be the only language that they do have this on, at least on my computer. Maybe other computers, maybe I don't have some module or something installed on my OS. But anyway, so we did Korean. I think I wanted to do a little bit of French. I don't know why I feel compelled to do French, but I do. I remember when we were in Ireland, um, like the Irish people said they loved listening to the Georgia, Southern American, Georgia specific style of English. They said that it was just music to their ears. And that would drive the French people insane because that's something they take a lot of pride in is how pretty their voice and their language sounds when they speak. They like to go to other countries and speak their language, and everyone be like, "Oh, they sound so pretty. Parlez-vous français?" But then they would be like, "Oh, Georgia. Oh, you're from Georgia, the United States. I love how you guys speak. Just love it. I love it so much how you guys." And me and my wife would be riding on the bus, and like we would start talking to each other, and we'd be like laughing and just having these little conversations, and the whole bus would just get dead silent, and everybody would be listening to us talk, um, and and then people would be like, I just have to let you know, I so enjoyed listening to you and your wife speak today, on that bus ride. It was real uplifting and fun. Just the way you guys, do your head, and then you do the little laugh, and the way you drag things out and then put things together, and the pacing and all that. They just were really, they loved it so much. So anyways, I guess I do feel a little bit compelled, to play around a little bit with French. I guess, they are probably like our chief rival, and in the melodious sounds of speaking. So, but yeah, they definitely. I do love hearing French people speak, and I do enjoy French TV. In that, I don't really like their stories. Their stories are really weird to me. I don't really get them. but like the architecture and the beauty of their clothing, especially, and like the way their posture, the way they hold their head, the way they all that is really really pretty to me. But anyways, so that is it. Today's Sunday, April 13th, almost halfway through the month, and we probably I'll do French next Saturday, and then we'll start on the API on Sunday. Hopefully that doesn't take very long. And that would be nice. And then we'll do continuous. And continuous should be almost identical. It's just that once you click record, it will continue to record until you click to stop it. So that will be different. And the sort of applications that you might build for a continuous would be different than the application that you would build for a discrete. That's something that I've learned from playing around with this stuff, is that like, so discrete really lends itself to like, you want to do analysis of what they said right now. So to me it seems like maybe it might work if you were like let's say you were reading VIN numbers and you can't get to a pencil. Maybe that would work. Let's try that. Let's say we had a VIN number. It was A75B3. A75B3. Yeah, see, that did pretty good. And then, you know, so then, you know, you could be looking at the VIN. You could say that into your phone, into a browser. The browser could then print that out, and then I know that there are tools that can then go and find information about that VIN. You know, it could tell you how many cylinders are on the car and all that. So that would be a really good application. So you'd have one big button. You push that button, you say the words you want to say, and then you close. Then when it looks good, you know, it did that. Now I had two alternatives, so let's see what the other choice was. Okay, so the same. The only difference was that it thought that maybe there was a pause between the B3. So I think you know, that would be a very very good use of this technology, and it seems like it would be a very reliable use, and all that. Like I said, there's a lot of other things that you can, like if you sit around and brainstorm, that you could kind of ideas that you could have, and some of them the technology is really appropriate for that, and some of them it isn't. And then the other thing to keep in mind is it is in fact a WebKit, not an actual official API. It's a WebKit API, and so that means that this is definitely going to change. I don't think there's any chance in the world that when this guy turns green up here and it becomes an official speech recognition API, that this thing won't be broken. And maybe broken in such a foundational way that there's no way to fix the code. That is very, very possible. So, you know, it's something to keep in mind. You know, you might, you know, like it, and in all likelihood, they'll have both of these will be green for a while, and you'll be able to continue to use the old one for a long time before they completely abandon it, and then this one will turn green. So you probably would have some time to use the old API before they just get rid of it, and then the likelihood, it just depends on how many people are using it. So like if there's 4 people using this in production for things, then they might get rid of it immediately. But if there's like 100 million instances and really big, like Salesforce.com, really big Google and all those guys are using this one, you know, this could be around for years, maybe even a decade. You know, and so if you built something, but you know, you would want to, you probably wouldn't, but you would want to, it would ideally, you would get one working with this guy, and you know, you would move over to the new one. But the thing is when this one finally flips, it'll probably be like version 0.01, And so then one, when they go to version one, it'll probably break everything, and then version two will probably break everything. So this one might end up being stable for 10 years, and then this one might end up breaking every 3 months, because they're still moving it forward in versions. So it's a lot. It's a lot to try to keep on top of, if you're going to use something like this. But I do think that it would be useful. I know that, like, when I took my car to do the missions, the the first guy was a moron, but the second guy was just brilliant. He was just this young, easy to get along with kid, and he was he had his phone and he turned on this app, and and then he typed in the VIN number, and it took a while. He was like, it's a lot of letters in a VIN, and so then he was like giving me all kinds of information about my car that I was not aware of. So like that tool, like if it has a browser, like let's say it's a what's it called, Enterprise Eclipse, I don't know, that thing where they kind of bind Node. Let's see, ChatGPT. What is the tech where they put Node and Chrome together? I misspell together all the time. Electron. Yeah, so like Electron, if it's an Electron application, then they can have that. And then not only that, but they can actually control the version of Chrome that it's using. So they would be able to like not have to worry about like if the API gets broken, because they choose when they're going to use a new version of Chrome. Not exclusive, like you couldn't use the old one. There would be reasons that you wouldn't want to use the old one. There would be pressures to move off of the old one after 5 or 6 years, because like there would be new technologies available in the newer versions of Electron that won't support the older Chrome browser and stuff like that. But it gives you more control over the browser that is being used. So anyways, yeah, it would be it really surprises me that this technology isn't more heavily used in a lot of different applications in different things out there. And it does sort of, like, just from an economic perspective, kind of makes me think that like our economy is just broken, because we could become more efficient and make more use. Like, someone could take a development team or a few developers and make their company much more efficient if they implemented this technology. But one, it's almost impossible to figure out who can actually develop and who can't. Like, literally, people like recruiters and all those guys can get together and they can make someone look like they are the absolute genius developer that is a slam dunk, and they could know nothing. They could be complete frauds. And there's really no way, unless you can actually code yourself and you can actually, like, you're actually capable of development yourself, that you can root these people out. There's just frauds everywhere. And there's no amount of money that you can pay that would mitigate this problem. Like, you could say, oh, I'm going to pay somebody $300,000 a year to come in and do this, and you could get a complete and total fraud. Actually, you will more than likely, and sadly enough, and this is clearly not my best interest to say, but the more you pay, the more likely you're probably going to get a fraud. And you could get a whole team of frauds, literally every single one of them. And they may not even realize they're frauds. They may think that they are absolute geniuses, and they have no idea what they're doing. Like, they have been completely gaslit into thinking that they are genius developers because they can, like, I know developers that think that the way you develop, like, there are developers who don't realize that there's people who develop without ChatGPT and without Stack Overflow and all that. I have actually heard developers say that there's no way that we could have developed. Aliens must have brought software development because nobody can just develop stuff from scratch when like it wasn't that really that long ago when none of those things were even available. Like that was the only way to develop things. So anyways, I think that this technology has a tremendous amount of potential, and it blows my mind that it isn't in heavy use everywhere. Like every major, like it shocks me that like every Fortune 500 company doesn't have a team absolutely dedicated to improving their application by adding voice features to it so that their customers can just use voice features to do things that on their phone so that they don't have to try to type stuff in. Like it just blows my mind that that's not something that like is just everywhere. Like it's just crazy because it is a game changer, and I think it is one of a very good indicator that our whole software development system here in the United States and probably in the world is completely and utterly demolished. Is just completely, and I don't know what's going to fix it. But anyways, like I said, I guess I normally have my brain sort of occupied with studying paralegal, so I don't go on these rants. I hadn't been going on these rants as much lately, but I probably should on the weekends now go back to starting my day with the use it or lose it, sort of talking about some thing in society. But anyways, I hope everybody has a wonderful day. It is almost 1 o'clock on Monday. We got some errands to run, and it's just absolutely beautiful outside. I'm really looking forward to mowing the lawn this evening because it's going to be gorgeous out there. And I did get to play Ultimate Frisbee, and I played for like 2.5 hours hard, and I ran like I was in my mid-30s again. And my son, he got me a new supplement for Christmas or for my birthday. That was like I took it before that because that's what it's for. It's supposed to like your pre-workout supplement, and I mean I think it worked really well. So that was cool. Happy coding, everybody. Bye.